The rain hammered against the windows of our small cottage in the Cotswolds, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Bertram, a simple clockmaker, had always found solace in the rhythmic tick-tock of time, a predictable counterpoint to the chaos of the world. My wife, Isolde, was a landscape architect, her designs as vibrant and untamed as the English countryside. We had been married for 15 years, a quiet, comfortable life built on shared dreams and unspoken affections. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Isolde, usually so punctual, began working late, her explanations vague, her eyes avoiding mine. "Client meetings," she'd say, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. "A new project in Bristol." I never questioned her. Trust was the bedrock of our marriage, a principle I held sacred. Yet a nagging unease began to gnaw at me, a discordant note in the symphony of our lives. One evening, Isolde had told me about a conference in Bath. She was excited, practically giddy, about the opportunity to showcase her latest designs. "It's a big deal, Bertram," she'd said, "could really boost my career." I was proud of her ambition, her passion. I kissed her goodbye, watched her drive away, and returned to the comforting precision of my workshop. The following day, a Tuesday, I received a call from a blocked number. Hesitantly, I answered. "Is this Bertram?" a gruff voice inquired. "Speaking," I replied, my heart beginning to pound. "I think you should know," the voice continued. "Your wife isn't at any conference in Bath. She's been seen with another man at the Lavender Inn in Stow-on-the-Wold." The line went dead. Stow-on-the-Wold. It was a mere 20-minute drive from our cottage, the Lavender Inn, a quaint, romantic getaway known for its secluded gardens and intimate atmosphere. Disbelief warred with a sickening certainty. I wanted to dismiss it as a cruel prank, a misunderstanding. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was already taking root. I spent the rest of the day in a daze, my hands trembling as I attempted to repair a grandfather clock. The familiar rhythm of the pendulum offered no comfort, only a hollow echo of the life I thought I knew. By evening, the uncertainty had become unbearable. I had to know the truth. I couldn't live with the suspicion, the creeping dread that was consuming me. I told myself I was simply going for a drive, a way to clear my head. But my hand steered the car toward Stow-on-the-Wold, my heart a leaden weight in my chest. The Lavender Inn glowed warmly in the twilight, its windows casting a soft, inviting light. I parked a short distance away, my breath catching in my throat. I walked toward the inn, my steps hesitant, my mind racing. What was I doing? Was I really prepared to confront the possibility of Isolde's betrayal? As I neared the entrance, I saw her. Through the window of the dining room, I saw her. She was sitting at a table, bathed in the warm glow of candlelight. Across from her sat a man I didn't recognize. He was laughing, his hand resting on hers. It wasn't just the physical presence of another man that shattered me. It was the way Isolde looked at him. The soft smile, the playful glint in her eyes, the easy intimacy that radiated between them. It was a look I hadn't seen directed at me in years. A look that spoke of a connection, a bond that I had believed was ours alone. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. The blood drained from my face, leaving me cold and numb. I stood there, frozen in place, a silent observer of a scene that felt like a cruel parody of my life. I wanted to scream, to rage, to confront them both, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of the betrayal. I turned and stumbled back to my car, my legs heavy, my vision blurred. The drive home was a blur of headlights and rain-streaked roads. I parked the car in the driveway and walked into the cottage, the silence amplifying the hollowness within me. I sat in the living room, staring into the darkness. The image of Isolde and the other man burned into my mind. She arrived late the next afternoon, her face flushed, her eyes bright. "The conference was amazing, Bertram," she said, her voice brimming with false enthusiasm. "I met so many interesting people, learned so much." I watched her, my heart aching with a pain I had never known. I wanted to lash out, to accuse her, to demand an explanation. But I couldn't. I needed to be sure. I needed to gather my thoughts, to plan my next move. "That's wonderful, Isolde," I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. "I'm glad you had a good time." She seemed relieved, oblivious to the storm raging beneath my calm facade. Over the next few days, I played the part of the unsuspecting husband, observing Isolde, listening to her lies, gathering evidence of her deceit. I discovered that the man she had been with at the Lavender Inn was named Lysander, a wealthy property developer from London. They had been seeing each other for months, meeting in secret, exchanging intimate messages, planning a future that excluded me. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place, revealing a picture of calculated deception and heartless betrayal. The revelation that Isolde had been systematically lying to me for months was devastating. It felt like a violation, a deep wound that would never fully heal. The woman I had loved, the woman I had trusted, had become a stranger, a phantom in my own home. I decided I needed to speak to someone. I called my friend Anselm, a retired detective. We met at a small pub in Chipping Campden. I told him everything: the phone call, the sighting at the Lavender Inn, the discovery of Lysander. Anselm listened patiently, his eyes filled with concern. "Bertram," he said, "I'm so sorry. This is a terrible situation, but you need to be careful. Don't confront her without proof. Don't let her know that you suspect anything. Gather evidence, build your case, and then act decisively." Anselm's advice was invaluable. It gave me a sense of purpose, a direction in the midst of my despair. Following Anselm's advice, I hired a private investigator, a discreet and professional woman named Winifred. Winifred was meticulous, thorough, and unflappable. Within a week, she had compiled a comprehensive dossier of Isolde's affair, including photographs, emails, and financial records. The evidence was irrefutable. Isolde had not only been having an affair with Lysander, but she had also been using our joint account to fund their secret rendezvous. She had been planning to leave me, to start a new life with him, taking half of everything we had built together. The betrayal was complete. The woman I had loved had not only broken my heart but had also attempted to steal my future. The anger that had been simmering beneath the surface finally boiled over. I was no longer the quiet, unassuming clockmaker. I was a man betrayed, a man wronged, a man seeking justice. I confronted Isolde one evening after she returned from what she claimed was a business dinner in Oxford. I laid out the evidence before her: the photographs, the emails, the financial records. She stared at them in stunned silence, her face paling with each passing moment. "Bertram," she stammered, "I can explain." "Explain what, Isolde?" I said, my voice cold and hard. "Explain how you could betray me so completely. Explain how you could lie to me for so long. Explain how you could steal from me, plan to abandon me, and destroy everything we had built together." She began to cry, her tears a pathetic attempt to manipulate me. "I didn't mean for it to happen, Bertram," she sobbed. "It just happened. I was unhappy. I felt neglected. Lysander made me feel alive again." "Neglected?" I scoffed. "Alive? Is that what you call sneaking around behind my back, lying to my face, and stealing my money? Is that what you call being alive?" She had no answer. She simply sat there, weeping, her facade of innocence shattered. I felt no pity, no compassion, only a cold, burning rage. "I want you out of this house, Isolde," I said, my voice trembling with anger. "I want a divorce. And I want everything back that you stole from me." Isolde left the next day, her tail between her legs, her dreams of a new life with Lysander in tatters. I filed for divorce and contacted my solicitor. The legal battle was long and acrimonious, but in the end I prevailed. I obtained a full divorce settlement, including the return of all the money Isolde had stolen. But the victory felt hollow. The damage had been done. The trust had been broken. The love had been extinguished. I was left with nothing but the wreckage of a shattered marriage and a broken heart. In the aftermath of the divorce, I threw myself into my work. The rhythmic tick-tock of the clocks became my solace, my refuge from the pain and loneliness that haunted me. I spent hours in my workshop, meticulously repairing, restoring, and creating. It was a way to rebuild my life, piece by piece, moment by moment. One afternoon, a woman came into my shop. Her name was Gwyneth. She was looking for a clock for her elderly mother. As I showed her the various timepieces, I noticed a sadness in her eyes, a quiet strength that resonated with my own pain. We talked for a long time that day, not just about clocks, but about life, loss, and the possibility of healing. Over the next few weeks, Gwyneth became a regular visitor to my shop. We shared stories, we laughed, we cried. I learned that she was a widow, that she had lost her husband to a tragic accident several years ago. She understood my pain, my loneliness, my struggle to rebuild my life. Slowly, gradually, a connection began to form between us. A connection built on shared experiences, mutual respect, and a growing sense of affection. I found myself looking forward to her visits, to the warmth of her smile, the gentle touch of her hand. One evening, as we were having dinner at a local restaurant, I took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Gwyneth," I said, "I know it's soon, but I can't deny what I feel. I'm falling in love with you." She smiled, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm falling in love with you too, Bertram," she said. "Gwyneth and I were married a year later in a small ceremony in our garden. It was a simple, heartfelt celebration of love, healing, and new beginnings. With Gwyneth by my side, I began to rebuild my life, not just professionally, but emotionally. I learned to trust again, to love again, to believe in the possibility of happiness." As for Isolde, I heard through mutual acquaintances that her relationship with Lysander had quickly soured. He had lost his fortune in a series of bad investments, and she had been left penniless and alone. Karma, it seemed, had finally caught up with her. Looking back, I realized that Isolde's betrayal was not the end of my story, but a painful chapter in a larger narrative. It taught me the importance of trust, the fragility of love, and the resilience of the human spirit. And it led me to Gwyneth, the woman who helped me heal, who showed me that even after the darkest of storms, the sun can still shine. My life as a clockmaker in the Cotswolds continues, now filled with the warmth and love of Gwyneth. The clocks still tick, marking the passage of time, but now their rhythm is a reminder not of betrayal and loss, but of hope, healing, and the enduring power of love. And so, dear listener, remember that even when betrayal shatters your world, it doesn't have to define your future. Embrace healing, seek genuine connection, and allow yourself to love again. Your story is far from over.